Hey everybody, Cowboy here. Today we have an excerpt from our private live lab that we do every day from 9 EST to 10 EST. We do that for our Algo Factory customers. At the bottom of the screen, you can see our URL, www.algofactory.tech. Go ahead and check that out, or you can zap the QR code with your phone to take you over there. But this clip has to do with trading psychology and backtesting. And what's really cool about that is you don't really see the two combined in conversation a lot of the time. It's either backtesting gets you your method or trading psychology is good for your trading psychology. But there is a connection between the two, and we do discuss that here in this class today. So it's a really cool class. It's a pretty quick clip. Stick around to the end, and we can, we'll put some stuff up on the screen, show you how to find us. Also, if you're on YouTube, you can just go to the main page, and our links are all up there. All right, thanks for coming. In order to be successful as a trader, I'd say it's about 95% homework, right? The actual trading is where, your methodology, that's the easiest part because you've already built that, right? If you're trading live, any size, you already should have built your algorithm. If you are trading live of any size and you have not built your algorithm, then you are running the risk of making mistakes because you are not trading with a tried and tested method. You're just trading willy-nilly. Maybe you've been doing this for years. And let me tell you something. And this is going to be some wisdom. And I mean wisdom just coming from doing this for so long now. There's people doing it for 10, 15 years. I'm not at that level. I've been doing Forex specifically since 2019. I've been trading candles really since about 2017, right? So I've been doing this a little while, and I can tell you that if you're trading and you're kind of applying like your methods that you've been using, and let's say you were a little successful here and there, crypto was kind to you, whatever that is, but you have not developed an algorithm in your trading, you're going to notice that your P&L just kind of rotates around the same number. So you have a $10,000 account, you might win a couple grand, you might lose a couple grand, but over time, you're not going to be moving. You're probably just going to be staying where you are. There's a few reasons for that. One of them is that your method isn't that well developed. You don't have an algorithm that has been tested. So just from a technical standpoint, you might not be making any money because you just don't have a good method. You have a method that worked in crypto in 2017 and you're applying it to Forex in 2023 or even crypto in 2023. It's not going to go that well for you. You might not lose, you might not win, you might lose, I don't know, but chances are you're going to be streaky in whichever direction you go. But the biggest reason, even beyond that, is probably trading psychology, because you don't have any kind of idea what your chances are of winning or losing. Therefore, you cannot have the confidence that comes along with that information. So we've talked about expectancy, right? Expectancy is the number you get when you go back and you test your method 200 times. Now, if you have a higher time frame, if you trade on like the 4 hour or even higher, then you might not get 200 trades. You might just have to go back through 5 years of trading history. So 200 is not a number set in stone, but if you're like me and you trade on the, the 30-minute chart or, something low like that, there are going to be 200 trades, especially in Forex. It goes back, 15, 20 years. So when you do that, when you backtest 200 times, you're going to end up with data, and that data is going to tell you that you have a certain percent of winning ratio. Okay. So I can say, hey, if I put $1,000 on a trade every time for 200 trades, how much would I make? And I'm going to learn that I can make $186 or whatever the number is. Not 186. I can make $1,860, right? So that's basically a 1.86 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So, I can, on average, right? I might lose $1,000 here. I might make $2,500 there, but it's going to average out to every time I click that button, I'm going to make $1,860, right? And then what I do is I divide that by at least 4, and I trade it at the most a quarter position size. So I'm putting $250 on each live trade, and then I'm actually doing what's called a forward test, where I trade that methodology and I trade it live, I just trade it for a smaller amount of money. And so that way I can kind of have guardrails. And in the case that things go sideways from live trading, I can analyze that and say, okay, is it because I'm trading in August, which is kind of a rough time to trade? August, it's one of those months where you got to really be focused because it's real choppy usually. Now, it might not happen this year. I have seen Augusts that are not boring because of what's happening in the market. Just most Augusts can be boring, right? So if you are in that scenario where you're trading that 250, instead of 1,000, that quarter position size, then you can say, okay, this looks good. And 100 trades goes by. That's a lot. That's a fair amount of trades. You'd be waiting several weeks to get to that on a lower time frame. And, if you're on a higher time frame, then, that's, if you're on like a daily, that's going to be a while. That would take you a year. But at the same time, there's other ways to kind of manage that. If you're on the daily time frame, maybe you just do 30 or 40 live trades. I wouldn't. Dailies are very relatively stable. The lower time frames are not stable, so your data on a daily is going to be tighter. It's going to be better. So I would do maybe like 50 or less. But a regular like trading on the hourly or something like that, I would do the full 100. Now, once you've done that and you have live data, you're going to find, okay, chances are instead of 1,860, it's going to be like 1,600 or something, because live trading is never as good as backtesting. A lot of that has to do with the way that the data populates on the screen. TradingView has done some improvements to help kind of minimize the error from backtesting manually. But long story short, your live trading tends to be a little bit less accurate, or the numbers tend to be a little bit worse, but not much, right? And if you're a really honest backtester, then the numbers could actually be better live. And that just depends on how honest you are, whether or not you let your biases kick in while you're backtesting. Because a lot of people, I'd say most people, while backtesting, what they will do is they will be like, oh, I would have won this trade. Oh, I would have won that trade, because they're just like, optimistic. That's not always the case. So anyway, once you've gone through that and you've backtested, you've live tested, now you're not the same person who was just kind of trading willy-nilly, trading what they used to trade, like 2 years ago in cryptocurrency, whatever it is. And you have an understanding of what your success rate is going to be. And if you go through a drawdown, you're going to be like, hey, no, it's, I know that this works. Maybe I need to just, not trade during this low volatility, or I need to hang back in the month of August a little bit, or, maybe I just take a break for a week or two. Maybe I'll let my head clear up. I mean, that's one way to go. A lot of traders will, they'll just stop trading for a week, or what they'll do is they'll decrease their position size while they're kind of in that funk, while they're slumping. Because slumps usually happen because of bad decisions. That's usually why they happen. There are not that many people who are always going to trade their method perfectly. That's just, they're gonna get a little greedy. They're gonna take a trade that's like 80% of a fit, and they'll lose their money. There's things that happen. So we are live every weekday, 8:30 AM EST, giving out free content. Come check us out on YouTube. Come talk to us. Go over to the website. That's www.algofactory.tech. Again, www.algofactory.tech. And for a limited time promotional offer, we are giving out memberships at $49.99 a month. There's a ton that we're offering over there. Come see what that's about. Also, you can see our Twitter link. All the links are up on YouTube. Come talk to us on social media. See us on the live YouTube videos. We hope to see you soon.